Folks, I am Tom Downey. Go follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney for more Cowboys coverage and plenty of Kellen Moore talk as well. Again, if you guys are just now joining us, Kellen Moore has been hired as the Cowboys offensive coordinator. That's a done deal. He will take over as the play caller. Now, keep your comments flowing. We'll get to them here in a little bit. We'll do a live Q&A, and I imagine plenty will be focused on Kellen Moore. So get those questions in. Use hashtag Cowboys. It'll be much easier for us to scroll through them. All right, folks, again, I'm Tom Downey. You're watching the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. We'll get now to my Cowboys mailbag. First up from the Great One 223. Don't let him go yet, but I believe it's time to really look into acquiring a new quarterback. He doesn't think Dak, he didn't actually mention by name here, is the long-term answer. Maybe a proven vet with a similar skill set to push number 4 to do better or something. Also throws in bye-bye Rush or White. Now, look, there are reasons to doubt Dak Prescott. The accuracy wanes at times, the footwork isn't the best, but I think in general, I feel like we have too high of expectations for Dak Prescott. We expected him to complete 100% of his passes. 70% or 75%. In reality, that's 100 in the NFL. You don't see very many guys breaking, if ever, that 72, 73, 74, 75%. Dak is still very young, has shown ability, he's shown he's clutch as heck. And in the end, if you don't believe in Dak Prescott, submit a plan to me. On Twitter at WhatGoingDowney in the comment section, whatever. Submit a plan that gets you better, if just not this year, but beyond as well. Because guess what? There aren't a lot of options out there. You want a vet that is a similar type of player? Tyrod Taylor's not going to come over. It's a bad free agent crop. Josh McCown, who I'm down to bring in as a vet mentor, but I don't think the Cowboys will. I think he'll stay with the Jets. If anything, Ryan Fitzpatrick, RG3, Matt Schaub. None of the free agent options are better quarterbacks than Dak Prescott. The reality is, he's an above-average quarterback right now. That's more than enough to win games in the NFL, especially when Dak is still super, super cheap. So is Dak the Cowboys franchise quarterback? Type 1 for yes and type 2 for no. I lean towards 1. It's not set in stone by any means. I also don't want to lock him into a massive contract right this second, although it would be cheaper. And don't worry, we'll have a contract breakdown for you guys on the channel. Go subscribe, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. From Cali State of Mind, wasn't Kellen the quarterback coach this season? Did it help Dak? No, but they want to make him the OC. Make no sense. Again, I disagree with this concept that Kellen Moore didn't help Dak Prescott. Look at what Dak did in 2017. Look at what Dak did in 2018. Surely we can agree he got better, right? TD stayed the same, sure, but the interceptions went down, accuracy went up, and the yards went way up. And since the Amari Cooper trade, which I think is fair to include as this is what it should be next year more full-time, 70-plus completion percentage, 2,000, almost 500 yards, 14 TDs, 4 picks in all of 9 games. Yeah, the TDs aren't great. That's fine. They run the ball plenty in the red zone, and they couldn't finish anyway, which has been a problem for quite some time. But overall, I think that Dak Prescott got better this year. Maybe Kellen Moore deserves just a little bit of credit. And in the end, besides that, it was still Linehan who was in charge of most things when it comes to that offense. All right, folks, subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. We'll have news, breaking news like the Kellen Moore one from today, rumors, NFL draft coverage, free agency, and special fan-led content like my mailbag right now. We'll get to our next question here from Cowboys Coffee Talk. Do you think the Cowboys will try to extend Dak, Cooper, and Zeke early to maximize the market value, or do they hold off until those deals expire? If they hold off, do they go target a big-name vet for a one-year deal, go all in for 2019? Long in-depth question there, so I'll kind of break it down here. In terms of Dak and Cooper and Zeke, it is cheaper, so as he says, maximizing market value. I'll use another term. It's cheaper in the long run to sign guys now, because contracts go up each and every single year because the salary cap goes up. You lock in now at 13%, let's just throw out that number, of $190 million cap, versus 13% of a $200 million cap for each player. You're saving money doing that. So it is cheaper to extend those young players' deals now. But I think maybe you see a bit of a hybrid approach here. Their own guys are the top priority. DeMarcus Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Byron Jones, Amari Cooper, and so on. Those are the top priorities, but maybe you make a run at an Earl Thomas or a Landon Collins or one big-name free agent. I don't think you'll see them go all in on 2019, although I wouldn't mind that approach whatsoever because maybe it shortens your long-term window, but it helps your immediate window for 2019 in terms of winning a Super Bowl. From Andrew Dew, could we possibly get anything out of a trade with Joe Looney? Had a productive season and could be a starter on another team. While I do immensely value what Joe Looney did this year, he was essential. The Cowboys could have fallen apart without Frederick. They ended up not doing that. So Looney did step up. But some reasons why he's not going to bring back much in a trade. 1 year left on his deal. I mean, you guys saw what Trent Brown went for. He's better than Joe Looney, who plays a more important position. Niners didn't get much for him. That hurts his trade value. In the end, I think Joe Looney is more valuable as a backup to the Cowboys than a mid to late day through selection, which I think is really all you would get for him if you traded him away. And by the way, I like Joe Looney. He did a great job. I think a little bit he's a bit overvalued. For what it's worth, Pro Football Focus graded him out as the number 32 center in the NFL. I think he's a low-end starter, very high-end backup right now. I don't think you're going to see teams make a big trade for that type of guy when he's in the last year of his contract. So just remember that going forward. I don't think you'll end up seeing Looney get traded because the value makes more sense to keep him than to get just a mid-round pick who might not actually make the roster for the Dallas Cowboys. So I like Looney a lot. Don't get me wrong on that one. But I also don't want to make it seem like we've overvalued him by any means. So just remember that one going forward. All right, next up on the Cowboys Mailbag from O'Day. He hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. Who is more valuable, Landon Collins or Earl Thomas, for the Cowboys to go all in to sign? It really depends on what you want out of your safety. Do you want a single high guy? Do you want a box safety? Do you want a little bit more experience or a little bit younger? So here's your comp. Your Landon Collins versus Earl Thomas. More games for LC and more tackles for loss. But look at the pass coverage abilities. Earl Thomas is better overall. So if you want a box safety, a strong safety type, Landon's your guy. If you want a free safety, Earl Thomas is your guy. Now again, both these players are immensely talented. They're among the top free agents out there. So I'll ask you, pick a safety to sign. Type C for Landon Collins and T for Earl Thomas. And also remember, both have some injury history. Earl Thomas more severe, and Landon Collins is still younger. So let me know what you guys think. Then DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney if you guys want my opinion. Next up, would you recommend the Cowboys Report to a friend? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you're typing in yes, well, if you haven't already, please subscribe. We really do appreciate it. YouTube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. If you typed in no, let me know why in the comments section. Give us some feedback there and how you would make the show better. From Ethan Tyra, when, I like the emphasis there on the when part, the Cowboys re-signed DeMarcus Lawrence, how much of a need is defensive end if the Cowboys part ways with Taco Charlton? I don't know if the Cowboys will, but we'll consider it if the Cowboys do go down that route, what could it look like? At that point, you have Tank locked up long-term, so you're locked in there with one defensive end. Crawford's there for a while. Randy Gregory's there for a while. Dorrance Armstrong is still young and cheap. I don't think per se it would be a high-end need. Remember, the Cowboys drafted Taco Charlton assuming Randy Gregory would never play again. They could not bank on him coming back. You kind of canned a little bit here. And Crawford's been reliable for the most part. Maybe not the 10-sack guy, but that's okay. So I think it's kind of like what it was last year with Dorrance Armstrong. You're not going to spend a round 1, a round 2, a round 3 pick on him. But if somebody falls to rounds 4, round 5, maybe that's where you end up valuing defensive end. Not a high-end need, but if the value's there, it would make sense in the end. From Brokov, Cowboys trade Jordan Lewis and David Irving for a first-rounder and get TJ Hawkinson or Noah Fant. While I love the idea of TJ or Noah on the Cowboys, this doesn't actually make any sense. For starters, you can't trade David Irving because he's a free agent. Secondly, even if you could, what team's going to take on David Irving and Jordan Lewis for a first-round pick? Not even Madden would accept that trade, my friend. Today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. And oh, by the way, if you use Bitcoin, that bonus becomes 150%. So DM us on Twitter at chatsports if you guys need some extra help. We'll walk you through it and help you get that extra money with Bitcoin. 30 extra bucks, if you put down $100, that's worth it to use Bitcoin. So again, DM us on Twitter at chatsports and we'll help you guys out. Next up on the Cowboys Mailbag from Bijan, hope I pronounced your name right, my man. If we trade Sean Lee, what worth can we get from him? Much like Joe Looney, I just don't think it's all that much. Now, I love Sean Lee. I've made that very clear on this show. But from a value perspective to another NFL team, I don't think it's all that much. Who wants a 33-year-old, once we get to week 1 of next season, injury-prone linebacker who's going to cost the team $7 million and is now a backup for his current team? No one, right? And beyond that, NFL teams also know Sean Lee is not going to be back at his current contract. So you would be able to sign him for cheaper than you have to trade for him, plus you keep whatever draft pick. So in the end, I don't anticipate a Sean Lee trade. Immensely talented, but his age, injury history, and most importantly, contract, all that rolled together just doesn't make sense for a team to want to go trade for him. If you can find a partner, awesome. But I'm not expecting much back in an actual deal. So what should the Cowboys do with Sean Lee? Type K for keep and type C for cut. Let me know in the comment section. Also go check out our potential cap cuts video posted earlier today on our channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Joe Oregon, hope I again pronounced your last name right. Do you think Dallas will draft for need in the draft or best player available? Good philosophical question. In general, smart teams don't draft for either. They take the best player available within reason, meaning they take the best guy that actually fills the need. If you're the Cowboys and a great weak side linebacker falls to you in round 2, you're probably not going to take him because you just drafted one in Leighton Vander Esch. If a quarterback falls, it's probably not going to be that high on your board anyway. So the Cowboys, as they build their board, will keep that in mind, but you're going to see them target best players that also happen to fill a need, especially early on. When he gets to round 6, round 7, if there's someone really good, he probably just pull the trigger on them at that point. Hippo Monster, great name. Can we get Dexter Lawrence by any chance? I would love it. I love this kid out of Clemson. I love Vita Vea last year. Therefore, I'm also fairly high on Dexter Lawrence. A logical fit at the one technique for the Cowboys. Now, with that said, not sure he's actually going to fall to Dallas. There's an outside chance because he doesn't bring much in terms of pass rush on the sack side of things, and he had that suspension for PEDs. I think he goes to the top 50 picks. If he doesn't, sign me up. I'll take him in a heartbeat. Plug him, Antoine Woods, Malik Collins, Crawford, let them all rotate together, and I've got yourself a very strong and much better defensive line. All right, folks, I am wearing a Mizzen and Main shirt. They're made out here in America, which is just perfect if you're a fan of America's team, which I kind of assume you all are. So go check them out. Comfortable.af is the site. You guys are not going to find a more comfortable dress shirt, or any shirt really, than a Mizzen and Main shirt. Best damn dress shirt out there. From Matt S., if we draft a receiver, do we have to take a slot receiver? He wants the best receiver available any round and have the receivers line up in various positions to mix it up. So I agree with that overall. I like that idea quite a bit. And I focused on slot receiver because that's kind of how the Cowboys tend to approach things. And Dak made a comment recently about preferring guys in the Z and the X and whatnot in specific roles. But I wouldn't mind taking a guy who can do a little bit of everything already. Maybe there's a receiver that falls, like a Deebo Samuel, which I kind of doubt, but I think that would make perfect sense there. Pairing with Amari Cooper, pairing with Michael Gallup, use those guys interchangeably. Cooper and Gallup, they can play the slot too. Heck, Amari is actually very good as a slot receiver. Allen Hurns can play the slot if he comes back. Noah Brown, we'll see. I think Ced Wilson's more of an outside guy, a little more of an inside guy. But from that perspective, I like the idea of getting a guy that can allow you to use other players in different positions. All right, last Cowboys mailbag question, then we'll get to some live ones here. Andy, Cowboys signed Quan Alexander to replace Sean Lee using the money saved by cutting Lee. So Alexander is a great linebacker as far as I'm concerned. Very talented, but he is coming off a torn ACL. And he's best as a weak side or middle linebacker. The Cowboys are set there. Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, those are your 1-2 guys. Quan can't play Sam. We shouldn't play Sam linebacker as far as I'm concerned. So depth is a need, but we do not, and the Cowboys will not, and I don't think they should, or they should not, and I don't think they will either, excuse me. They should not spend money at the linebacker spot into the price that's going to cost Quan Alexander. It doesn't make sense. Why would you cut Sean Lee, save $7 million, and then go blow it on another linebacker? Part of the reason that you're cutting Sean Lee is you don't need to pay a linebacker $7 million to play 20 snaps a game. So I like Alexander. I don't think he makes sense from a money standpoint, and then from his own perspective, why is he going to come be a backup for the Cowboys? I just don't think that's the route that they want to go. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.